Ki, spirit energy. This is the classic life force system where characters train their bodies and breathing until their inner energy can be felt, shaped, and released. It draws from real-world East Asian ideas about Qi and martial arts traditions, then anime turns it into visible aura, pressure, and signature techniques. Compared to spell-based magic, Qi usually rewards discipline and physical conditioning more than study or bloodlines. It matters because it makes power feel earned and measurable, and it gives stories a clear path of growth, practice, control, mastery, and then a new level. Mana, spellcasting magic. This is the broad fantasy style system where power comes from tapping a magical resource and shaping it through words, symbols, rituals, or will. It grows out of myth, folklore, and RPG style rules that anime adapted into easy to understand elements, schools, and spell tiers. Unlike Ki, magic often comes with knowledge gates, tools like staffs and room wars, and established institutions such as guilds or academies. It's important because it supports variety quickly: fire, ice, healing, barriers, and it naturally creates worlds with jobs, laws, and social status built around who can cast Chakra. This is a structured internal energy system that treats power like a network inside the body, with flow, nodes, and techniques that require precise control. Its roots are in South Indian religious concepts, reinterpreted through pop culture, then organized into clear training steps and name technique. Chakra differs from loose spirit energy by emphasizing hand signs, control exercises, and a sense that technique matters as much as raw strength. It matters because it lets a story mix strategy with intensity. Two fighters can have similar power, but the one with better control and smarter technique can still win. Psychic powers. This system focuses on the mind as the source of power, with abilities like telekinesis, telepathy, clairvoyance, and mental domination. It grew out of 20th century sci-fi interest in ESP, then anime blended it with school settings, secret labs, and government agencies. Psychic power differs from magic because it often feels clinical or neurological, and it may come with burnout, headaches, sensory overload, or emotional triggers. It matters because it creates tension without physical contact, and it raises stakes around privacy, consent, and control in a way a simple fireball never can. Summon spirits and familiars. This is a system where power comes from calling, binding, or partnering with an external being that fights for you or lends you abilities. It pulls from religious and folkloric ideas about spirits and demons, and it also echoes older fantasy stories about wizards and their familiars. Unlike internal energy systems, it's relational. Strength depends on contracts, compatibility, and sometimes negotiation or sacrifice. It matters because it turns combat into teamwork and drama, and it gives writers a way to externalize a character's fears, desires, or hidden side through the summoned partner. Manifested guardians. This is the type where a character's power appears as a distinct entity or avatar that acts like a weapon, bodyguard, or extension of the self. It developed as a stylish way to visualize abilities, so powers can be understood instantly on screen without long explanations. Compared to summoning spirits, manifested guardians are typically not separate characters with their own goals. They feel like a personal embodiment with rules tied tightly to the user. It matters because it makes battles readable and creative, and it lets a story show personality in physical form, like a signature silhouette standing behind someone. Burst energy. This is power that's born from negative human emotions and accumulates everywhere there's fear, hatred, stress, and pain, so the world literally produces fuel for monsters. The concept draws on Japanese ideas about curses and defilement, and Jujutsu Kaisen translates this into modern urban language. Curses emerge from people's everyday anxiety, and sorcerers learn to turn dirty emotion into a clean tool. Unlike familiar life force energy, the source here is inherently toxic, and the key skill is not becoming its prisoner, but holding form without letting feelings break your control. Alchemy and equivalent exchange. This is a rule-based transformation system where power is the ability to break matter down and rebuild it, usually under strict laws that demand the cost. Its inspiration comes from historical alchemy, early chemistry, and the idea that knowledge can change reality. Then anime dramatizes it through circles, formulas, and taboo boundaries. Unlike mana magic, alchemy often feels like engineering. Preparation and understanding can beat raw talent, and shortcuts can be catastrophic. It matters because it ties power to consequence, so every miracle has a price, and every easy win becomes a story problem. Technology-based power system. This is where strength comes from devices, suits, implants, weapons, or engineered tools rather than inner talent, even if it still looks flashy. It grew alongside mecha and sci-fi anime, where the spectacle of machines was part of the appeal, and progress itself was the theme. Technology differs from spiritual systems because it can be built, stolen, upgraded, mass-produced, and regulated, which changes the politics of power completely. It matters because it makes power feel accessible and societal, not destined, and it creates conflicts about control, corporations, militaries, and what happens when the wrong people get the latest upgrade: mechs and pilot synchronization. This is a specific tech system where the power is a giant machine, but the real limiter is the human connection needed to operate it at full capacity. It evolved from early mecha stories into deeper ideas about synchronization, trauma, identity, and the body-machine boundary. Unlike simple technology upgrades, mech power often depends on the pilot's mental state, compatibility, and teamwork, so the same machine can perform differently across people. It matters because it turns battles into character moments, and it makes the spectacle feel personal, like a fight happening both outside and inside the cockpit. Card, item, and artifact systems. This is the kind where abilities are stored in collectibles: cards, keys, relics, rings, or sealed objects, and using power means activating, combining, or upgrading what you've obtained. It traces back to mythology about enchanted items, and also to modern toy and game culture that shaped many anime franchises. Compared to internal energy, artifact systems emphasize discovery, collection, and planning, and they make loadout choice as important as raw skill. It matters because it creates clear goals and progression, and it supports varied episodes where a new item changes the rules without rewriting the whole world. Nen, Vows and Limitations. This is a system where internal energy is first disciplined through basic control techniques, then transformed into unique abilities that work better the more precisely the user sets rules for them to work. The idea grew out of the familiar aura concept common to fighting genres, but gained the rare strictness for anime. Power here doesn't just increase, it's constructed like a set of rules. The main difference from most personal ability systems is that vows and self-imposed limitations aren't just decoration, they're the engine of power. The more serious the cost and risk, the stronger the effect, and the more reliably the ability stays within bounds. This matters because such rules make fights both fair and tense at the same time. The viewer understands exactly what a character can do, what they can't do, and what stakes they accepted to gain their advantage.